All right. Honorable Raphael, you can kindly take the floor. But the Honorable Raphael is the regional director for the Eastern Regional, for Eastern Region. Honorable Raphael, kindly unmute and take the floor. So I have to mute my microphone right away.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Mafo, the General Secretary for YEC. Honorable members, good evening and welcome to today's sitting. As said earlier on, this is one of the many sittings that Eastern Region we having. We had our first sitting where we elected the speaker, and then we also did a brief discussion. So today's sitting will be moderated by the speaker, and the speaker is already in the house. So without much ado, I'll leave the floor for the speaker to take over her house so that she can moderate the house to a successful end. Right, Honorable Josephine, you are welcome to the house.
Thank you, Honorable Raf. Good evening, honorable members. You're all welcome to today's sitting. Before we start, can we have someone giving us the word of prayer? Any volunteer? Hello? Hello, good evening. Can the house hear me?
Honorable, your voice, there is some breakages in your voice. I don't know if you could position yourself very
well. Okay.
So it's asking whether somebody could pray.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, I think it's quite
Is
better
my
now.
voice clear now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I want someone to give us a word of prayer. A Muslim prayer or a Christian prayer. Abdul Halidu, Honorable Abdul Halid, please, can you give us a Muslim prayer?
All right, all right. All right. Good evening, honorable members. Thank you for the opportunity given. Shall we be in the mood of prayers? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي ما Hello. Can you hear me?
Bismillah.
Yes, we are hearing you. We are listening. Please, we are praying.
All right. Alhamdulillah الذي بما أبشرنا الله لا إله إلا هو حي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. Amen. Alhamdulillah. May Allah accept our prayers.
Amen.
May we take whatever discussions we are going to discuss here and it shall be fruitful. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Honorable Halidu.
Thank
Okay,
you,
this is
Honorable member. I'm grateful.
You're welcome. And this is the first time after my election as the speaker due to today's sitting. And I'm also very happy to be sharing the affairs of today. Before I continue, we would like to have a statement from the General Secretary if he's around. So can we have a statement from the General Secretary of the if he then address the House? Thank you very much. Hello, House. Please, is the General Secretary around? Hello.
Aye.
Please, the General Secretary is not around.
Raphael, please
The
speak.
General Secretary is not around.
Raphael, your hand is up. Please speak.
Yes,
All right,
thank you
He's
very
not
much.
around.
The General Secretary is there. The General Secretary is in the House.
Thank you
Okay.
very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable
So
Speaker.
let's have the General Secretary now. Please address the House.
Right Honorable Speaker, can I come in?
Yes, please. Who is this?
Thank you very much, Right
Ralph.
Honorable Speaker in the House. This is Honorable Raphael. Yes, Honorable Raphael, YMP for Fancy Review. Right Honorable Speaker, I have a motion on board that the order paper should be amended before we continue with the business of the House. So it is my suggestion that
Okay,
the order
please go
paper
ahead.
should be amended so that we make a few rearrangement before we continue with the sitting. So this is my proposed amendment.
Okay, let's do
This is
that.
my proposed amendment, if honorable members will agree, that number one, the motion should be amended to read, Westernized democracy is not the best form of governance system for Ghana. Well, what is on the other paper is different from what was advertised on the flyer. So if we can make that amendment before we start the business. So it should read, the motion
Okay,
should
that
read,
has been noted.
yes, the motion should read
Okay.
Westernized democracy.
Westernized democracy is not the best form of governance system for Ghana.
Yes, that's my first proposal. And my second proposed amendment.
So please, honorable members, let's. Okay. So let's have someone second that motion that it should be amended to Westernized democracy and not democracy. Let's see. Hey, Philip, Honorable Philip, please unmute and let's hear you. Yes, Honorable Philip.
Good evening, Honorable Member. Speaker. Hi, Honorable YMP. So bad moved by Honorable on the other. Thank you. Hello.
Honorable Owusu, please speak. Honorable Owusu, your line is very bad. Please reposition yourself. Hello, the network is very bad. Honorable Philip, your hand is up again.
Hello, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
The speaker. All right. Good evening, honorable members.
Hello. Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please speak up. Oh.
Okay.
Who is on the floor?
I, Honorable Ankuma Philip.
Honorable Philip, yes, please make your submission.
Madam Speaker. I, Honorable Ankuma Philip, do hereby second the motion so moved by the Honorable Majority Leader for amendment of the first item on the agenda paper. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Owusu, please make your submission. Ralph, your hand is still up.
Yes, Madam
Honorable
Speaker, thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, just a few corrections. I am not the majority leader of the House. The majority leader is on the call. That is Honorable Usu Bresta. And also the minority leader is also on the call. Honorable Bachisa Poneno is also on the call. So I just want to make few clarifications. So that's why my hand is up. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Honorable Owusu, I still haven't heard from you yet. Honorable Owusu, please address the House. Honorable Rafi. Honorable Rafi, please, your hand is up.
Yes.
Can you unmute?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable. I just want to put in this that the other paper, some of us do not have the privilege to have it. So if we can be posted to the platform for us to actually know how it is being scheduled, so that we can know how to contribute to the parliamentary discussion. Thank you.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Hello. Please, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can
Please, can you hear me now?
Yes, Honorable Owusu.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, please, I can
All
hear
right, once
you.
again, I go by the name. Okay, once again, I go by the name Honorable Usu Bresta, the YMP for Nkoko constituency and also the majority leader of this house. Now, I want to ask that if the changing of the motion will not affect the statement prepared by my people from my side, then if it will affect the statement prepared by my people, then I think that there must be something done with that. So this is a question I am throwing to Honorable Ralph to explain that if the changing of the motion wouldn't affect the statement prepared by my people, then we, the noble house, will accept that. But it will affect, if it will affect the statement prepared by my people, then I think we should seek for a better way to address this. Thank you, Madam.
I don't think it will affect the statement. I don't think it will affect it. You just have to add the westernized to it, and that's it. Everything still stands the same. Hello.
Madam Speaker, that's exactly the point. So I think the majority caucus are getting afraid of the motion on board. That's why they're making those assertions. So, but I think let's continue. Let's continue with the amendment.
Honorable Owusu, nothing changes. In your submission, just add the westernized before the democracy and everything will still stand the same. Yes, I know you are not afraid.
So please, I think it's a total fallacy. And I think you have to change such a statement. Thank you.
You're welcome. And please, is the General Secretary ready to give his submission? Oh, he's not yet on the call. Honorable Owusu, I can still see your hand up. What's going on?
Yeah, Madam. I think the Honorable Ralph made it.
Yes.
We, the majority side, being afraid of the debate or of the motion on board. We can practically say that we are ever ready, and there's nothing like afraid, but we are just trying to seek for transparency and fairness in this debate. It's nothing like we are afraid or we are shivering. We know what we are capable of, and we are not afraid of anything that will come on board. Thank you, Madam.
Okay, you're welcome. We're supposed to have a statement from the General Secretary and the Regional Director. These two personalities, are they around? If none of them is available, can we move on to the discussion of the regional project? Ralph.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. I'm the regional director, so I will.
Oh, okay. So let me hear you. Since I've been waiting for the General Secretary, he is not ready.
Yes, so the General Secretary is ready, but I'll make the statement, and then after that, he will come in.
Okay.
And then also make a statement. And
okay.
Then my statement, I'll combine it with the projects that we want to embark on. To be one.
Okay.
So if I have your permission, then I can continue.
All right, permission is granted.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening once again, Honorable House, and a good evening to the majority leader and the minority leader and their leadership. Eastern region this year have been a bit up and then down. The regional tour started with Eastern region, where we met. The number wasn't that encouraging. And then it went to other regions. And then this very sitting that we having today, we were supposed to have it long ago, but because at the point we were not ready, that's why it was rescheduled to today. So we have gone through a few modification and restructuring, and we hope that going forward, Eastern region will be vibrant and active under the leadership of the Right Honorable Speaker, Madam Josephine. So few things. Number one is about the upcoming leadership camp that will be in November. I'm encouraging members those who have registered, to make their commitment and contribution towards the going. If possible, we can go as a block to go and represent the region. And also, I'm also encouraging members that anytime there is opportunity for leadership role, when we open the nominations, we are encouraging members to apply and take part. Well, as we speak now, we are still here to get deputy speakers. We have to elect 2 deputy speakers, and then we need a clerk. Those things. So when the nominations are open, I'm encouraging honorable members to apply. Then on the projects, we want to think about one project that we can embark on before the year ends. So for that one, it can be a one-man decision. So as we've all gathered here, we want to just take very few minutes, like between 5 minutes, to discuss that. So I would like to ask the permission of the speaker to open the floor for members to make their contribution in that regard. That what project do they think we can embark as a region, and the modalities that we have to adopt to embark on that project. So when you mention your project, you should give us a bit of detail how you think we can go about it and then deliver on the project. And it should be a project that can be delivered within the few months that we have to the end of the year. So thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome, Honorable Ralph. Okay, so like he has said, if you have a project in mind, you bring it on board, then you explain to us the reasons why you want us to embark on that project. So the house is now open for that discussion. Thank you. Hello. Honorable members, we don't have time on our hands. So let us bring our suggestions and then we all have a look at it. If it's favorable for the house, then we embark on that project. Honorable Ralph, do you have a project in mind?
Madam Speaker, I want us to, because of time, I can see the honorable members are not ready with that. So can we move on and continue the program? And then later on, we'll see how we can do it. Thank you very much.
Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Good evening, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Philip, you have the floor.
Good evening, Madam Speaker. Please, this is Honorable Watches upon Enoch, the YMP for Creek constituency, and then the Honorable House.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, with the issue concerning our project, I believe some time ago we made suggestions of some projects that we can embark on, if the Honorable Regional Director can remember. And we made mention of education. I personally do think that education is one area that when we touch, it is going to have a great or make a great impact on the next generation or on the kids, and also have a greater impact or a role to play in our environment. So I personally believe that we should embark on a project concerning education outreach. For the meantime, as the Honorable Regional Director said, that it should be a project that we can execute within the shortest possible time. So I believe that an educational outreach, when I talk about educational outreach, I mean gathering some learning materials, some basic learning materials, and then donating to a particular school in the name of YMP Eastern Region. I personally do have a foundation, an NGO that I run. That is my own NGO that I run. And we do embark on such projects most of the times. And you have no idea, it's make great, impact on the children. We have no idea. Those books, exercise books, pencils, we see them to be little things. But I'm telling you, when you get closer to the teachers, the head teachers in the deprived communities, you be marveled to hear some stories and they know how grateful they are when they receive such donations. So I humbly suggest or request that the House will take it into consideration. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Hello. Hello, Honorable.
Madam Speaker. Hello, Madam Speaker.
Someone called on my phone. Yes, I can hear you, Honorable.
Okay. Thank you, please.
Continue your submission. I didn't hear the latter part of it. Oh, please.
Okay. Just,
I didn't hear the latter part of it, so please go over.
okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Please, just as I was saying, that when you visit some of these, abandoned schools or deprived schools in such deprived communities, you would be marveled to hear the stories that and then the challenges that they go through. And then me running my NGO, I have had that experience, a couple of times, and then I know how grateful they are when they receive such, materials, and then the impact it has on the children. So I personally think that we should take it, the House will take it into consideration, and then arrange an outreach like that. My constituency will be very glad to host that, since I have, so much deprived communities here, and constituency will be very glad and honored to host, such a great outreach by YMP State Region. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, is there any other suggestions? And why are honorable members leaving? Please take note of all those who are leaving the meeting. There will be some. Do we have another suggestion? Hello. Hello. Honorable Joseph Amufa, please speak. Honorable Joseph. Honorable Joseph, can you hear me? Honorable members, are you there?
Yes,
madam.
Yes, but you are so quiet. When we started the meeting, I think I had about 30 honorable members. Now I have 26. What has happened to the rest?
Bad network, Madam Speaker.
Problem.
Maybe it's a network issue.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, me, for instance, I am currently on top of a very tall tree just to get a network for this meeting.
Yeah.
Please, can I have a video on the tree?
But Madam Speaker, once I turn on my camera, I
video of you on a tree.
Madam Speaker, once I turn on the camera, the phone light will, will come on, and then maybe to attract some vulture to come and eat me up here.
Interesting. Okay. We have one honorable member of the regional project. Now I'm asking the House. He's talking about education, donation of education materials to deprived schools. That is his suggestion. What do you also have to say? Please bring your ideas. Okay, Honorable Joseph Abofa, your hand has been up for a while. Please, can you speak to the House? Honorable Joseph, please. Yes, Honorable Freeman, please talk.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Good evening, House. My name is Honorable Dan Subrobe Freeman.
Good evening.
YMP for Abitifi constituency, and I second what my Honorable Minority Speaker said. Yeah, sharing educational items to deprived schools is one of the major things that we need to consider within this house, because it will marvel you to get to some communities to realize the kind of educational materials they use. For example, when you come to my constituency here, there are some schools in a very deplorable state. In a very deplorable state. Even teaching learning materials are very hard to come by. So I second what the honorable member said. Sharing educational materials to some deprived communities is a better agenda that we need to push forward within this house. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker. Hello, Madam Speaker. Hello, Honorable Ralph. Hello, Madam Speaker. Are you please there?
I think they are having a problem with their network.
Honorable Usu.
So,
Majority Leader.
do we all support the? Okay, please speak.
Okay, welcome back, Madam Speaker. Please, we were waiting for you.
Thank you. I didn't unmute myself when I was just speaking. I thought I was speaking to the house. Okay, I was saying that we have two honorable members all supporting the education project about donating educational materials to the private schools. And I want to know if that's the pleasure of the house. If we all agree on that, then we take that one as a regional project.
Madam
Please,
Speaker.
let me see. Yes. Please speak.
Okay, Madam Speaker, thank
Gilbert.
you.
Honorable Gilbert.
Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come in. I do second the idea of donating such materials to deprived areas or communities. Thank you.
Okay, you also support the idea. Thank you very much. Honorable Joseph Amofa, your hand has been up for a while now.
Yes.
But you are still not making any submission.
Madam Speaker, can you please hear me?
Can I hear you?
Yes, can you please hear me now?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm Joseph Amofa, YMP in Paraiso constituency.
No.
I also support, I'm in favor of the project, education project, as proposed by my colleague, honorable members. In fact, I'm also into education. I am a head teacher in a deprived school. And I must confess, teaching and learning materials, inadequacy of the teaching and learning materials, and even infrastructure and a whole lot is a big problem for schools in the hinterlands. And so I believe if YMP Eastern Region undertake this educational project, it will be of immense help for the children, the teachers, and the community at large. Thank you very much for the opportunity once again.
You're welcome. Thank you for your submission. Okay, so now I want to see the by hands and number of honorable members that support this project so we can move ahead. Okay, I can see 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hands. Is that all? We are about 27 on the platform. And I have only 8 hands. Okay, I'm still waiting for more hands. If not, it means
Madam Speaker.
The hands that are down. Yes.
Madam Speaker. Yeah, Madam Speaker, I think we also have in our midst honorable members from other regions who have no voting rights, and that's accounted for why the hands are not so many.
Okay, I think that explains it. All right, so how many are the other people from the other regions? How many are in the meeting? Hey, now I have 5, 6 hands.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, please.
Madam Speaker, per my records, the hands
please
that
stop.
Per my records, the hands that we have are in majority for Eastern Region. So it means majority support the decision. So if that will certify the requirement, then we can move on. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so we all agree that the project that we embark on is education, and that is donation of educational materials to deprived schools. Now we have to think which schools we are going to and which region that we are going, because we can't cater for all. We don't have that resources. So we have to move the districts. Can we do that now?
Madam Speaker, can I please make a submission?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Madam Speaker, I'm Boachisa Enoch, the YMP for Okre constituency, and then the minority leader for this honorable house.
Okay.
Okay, Madam Speaker, in my previous submission,
please make your submission.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, in my previous submission, I don't know for other YMPs, but I humbly asked from the YMP Eastern region that they will grant me the honor to host such a great outreach by YMP Eastern region. Because I've been embarking on this for the past 6 years, and then I've still not been able to cover all the deprived schools in my constituency. I've been able to reach quite a number of them, quite a reasonable number of them, and I'm still trying. So I'll be honored and to be allowed to host such a great outreach.
Which district are you?
The Okre district. The district, please.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that is your suggestion. So
yes,
let's listen to the others.
Thank you very much.
Then we'll have to vote on that. Okay. You're welcome.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Raphael, Honorable Raphael.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Madam Speaker, Eastern Region have 33 districts. So if you want to take that decision right now, every honorable member will want that to come to their constituency or their district. So I am pleading with the House that we refer this one to leadership, and leadership will deliberate on it and then communicate to your office on what they have agreed on and communicate to members in due course. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Raphael. Okay. I think that is a good suggestion, so we'll go by that. So later on, we'll get back to the House on the decision that has been taken by the executive body. Whose hand is up? Ralph, your hand is still up. Honorable Ralph.
No, Madam Speaker, that's all. That's all. So can we continue?
Okay. Please, can we go ahead with today's business? Honorable Ralph, since you are serving as the clerk for today, can you give us the motion? Read the motion for us, then the minority and majority house will prepare their people to give their debate.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I believe the leader of the house is in the house, so I don't want to take his work from him. So I will humbly appeal to your high office to let the leader of government business, that's the leader of the majority leader, to perform his duty. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Ralph. It's well noted. Okay. So the leader in charge of governance, please take over.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think the majority of us are ready for this motion. for the presentation of the motion. So without much ado, I think we have to move to the motion. And my side, we are ready. I don't know for the minority caucus, since they were trying to find some ways and means to delay time so that we cannot even get to the submission of the motion. But now I think everything is settled now. So I think we can proceed with the main business of the day.
Okay, so are those going to give their submissions? Are they ready? Those who are supposed to give submissions on the debate, are they ready?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. This is Enoch Boachisapoin, and I'm the minority leader. When my learned colleague was speaking, that is Honorable Usu, the majority leader, he said that the minority leader, he said the minority caucus is trying to delay the motion, and then it sounded as if we are afraid to, present, to make our submissions on the motion and all that. Madam Speaker, right from the beginning of this House, we've been silent, patiently waiting for the time for this motion. And myself and my colleagues from the Minority Caucus, we are ever ready to make our submissions without fear or panic. Thank you. Madam Speaker, right from the beginning of this,
yes.
patiently.
I think I'm having network issues. I can't hear.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I don't know if I have your permission to. Madam Speaker.
Who is this? Kojo Mensah. Yes, please speak.
Madam Speaker, I am the Deputy Majority Leader, and I believe that we are almost an hour into the meeting, and if we can immediately to speak, I'm ready, and I'm speaking on behalf of the majority. Thank you very much, and a good evening to the House. Good evening to the leadership. Right, Honorable Speaker, I appear before you today to make a statement for the motion. Western democracy is not the best form of governance system for Ghana. And I am actually speaking for the motion. Right, Honorable Speaker, I do believe that the motion for today's sitting and debate is very critical, and it is only appropriate that this issue of governance has come up for discussion. Before I go into details of my submission, I want to go a little into history. Now, since we are speaking about democracy and governance, we all know that until the invasion of the African continent by the white man, Africa, and for that matter, Ghanaians had their own unique way of life and governance. It was an unfortunate invasion of the continent by the Europeans that rudely disrupted and distorted the very way of life of Africans. Otherwise, I believe that African society was well managed and well organized. Our traditional methods of governance could be said to have been highly potent and effective. Right, Honorable Speaker, in the days of old, our governance system was largely embodied in kingdoms. We had kings and we had queens and chiefs who were highly revered and respected by reason of the very critical and vital role that they played in the governance of a society. The chieftaincy institution was highly functional, and it gave enough security to its subjects. Where an issue arises among members of the society, it was the chiefs who adjudicate the issue and brings finality to say. And so we had our own very unique way of governance, which was effective and which was very useful in the days of old. But whilst I referred to the powers of the chiefs or the authority of the chiefs, their powers were not sacrosanct and that they were not authorities unto themselves. Now, typically, the chiefs will have what we call the council of elders, who advise and assist the king or the chief in the course of governance. And so therefore, you could see that there were checks and balances. Now, the point is that checks and balances itself is a critical component of democracy. And so there is the chief or the king, but then the chief or the king also has council of elders who advises and who checks the king so that the king does not emerge as a dictator. Right, Honorable Speaker, permit me to make a quote from a book written by one of Ghana's illustrious politicians, Prime Minister Kofi Abrefa-Busia. In his intellectual work titled The Position of the Chief in the Modern Political System of Ashanti, Prime Minister Busia had cause to state how when there is a constitutional dispute in the then Ashanti Kingdom, there were instances where chiefs are actually bribed with money to influence and subjugate justice. The Ashanti Kingdom had what we call the Confederacy Council, and it was an authority in the Ashanti Kingdom, and it commanded enough powers. But then where there was an issue for adjudication and there are bribes, tells you that there was corruption in that governance machinery and that justice was being perverted. Now, Madam Speaker, one critical component of democracy is justice and fairness, and that everyone is equal before the law. One of the issues in the then Confederacy Council of the Ashanti Kingdom was also the issue of representation, where some of the citizens of the kingdom felt that they were not adequately represented on the Confederacy Council, and that where an issue is taken, they are not even heard. Their views are not taken into account. Laws are just passed and imposed on them. Now, I am saying all this to suggest to you that even with our traditional methods of governance, there were questionable democratic tenets. In other words, there were certain aspects of it that appeared undemocratic. Now, I am saying this because in the final analysis, I'm going to draw some connection between our traditional method of governance and Western democracy. Because we know that democracy, a critical component of it is representation. The fact that people are heard, the fact that the decisions and the views of the masses are taken into account during governance is a critical component of Western democracy. Now, there was a defect as far as traditional African methods of governance were concerned, that in the Ashanti Kingdom, as I used as an example, there were instances where the citizens of the kingdom felt that their views or that they were not adequately represented on the Confederacy Council. So therefore, representation is a very critical component of democracy. Now, it is the very issue of representation for which we have a parliament in our democratic setup as a nation today. And so when you take Ghana as a nation and the fact that we practice democracy, we all know that we have a parliament, we have the executive, and then we have the legislature. Now, the essence of a parliament is that we all cannot be involved in decision making and the making of laws. And so what we do is we give power to people to go and represent us in parliament. Such elected people are to represent the interests of the people that elected them, nothing more, nothing less. And so that is how come we have come to have what we call parliament today. Now, in the case of the Ashanti Kingdom, where I sought to use as an example, the Confederacy Council lacked representation. The masses were not well represented on the council. And so therefore, when decisions are taken, their views were not sought. Let me put it that way. But Western democracy got it right with the parliamentary system, so that we all can have representation in parliament and that they are there to take decisions on our behalf, speak on our behalf, and seek our welfare as the masses or as the honored people. So that aspect of Western democracy is quite acceptable, it's quite refreshing, and I believe that that is one of the positive aspects of Western democracy. Right, Honorable Speaker, democracy, as we all know, is of Greek origin, and it is briefly defined as a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. As we all have come to know, democracy has certain fundamentals that underpins it. And so we talk about freedom of expression, assertion of fundamental human rights. We talk about freedom of the press. We talk about the multi-party concept, political pluralism, where we have multiple parties representing multiple interests. Typically, we also have the legislature, we have the executive, and then we have the judiciary. In fact, these three establishments are characteristic of most democracies the world over, as it is in the case of Ghana. Right, Honorable Speaker, the first semblance of a parliament in Ghana was in the Gold Coast era, in the year 1850 to be exact, when the Gold Coast had the first legislative council to govern it. 1850. This was the first time that the Gold Coast had a legislative council to govern it. In 1888, that is 38 years later, a gentleman by the name John Mensah Saba, I believe that we all know him and we've heard much about him. He was the first African to be admitted to the Gold Coast Legislative Council. Also, the political party system that we all know, which is a key feature of democratic societies, is something which began long before even Ghana gained its independence. In fact, the UGCC, the United Gold Coast Convention, and students of political history will know this. The UGCC was formed on 29 December 1947. In about 2.5 years later, the Convention People's Party was also formed on 12th June 1949. And so you see that democracy in Ghana is something that started long ago. And so I talk about the political party system. I have talked about the legislative council, what we call the parliament today, and also constitutions. We all know that democratic societies are mostly governed with a constitution. Now, Ghana has had a couple of constitutions, and once again, students of political history will know that we had something called the Burns Constitution of 1946. I do not know how many of you would know Sir Alan Burns. It was after him that we named the constitution Burns Constitution of 1946. We also had the Gettysburg Constitution of 1925. We also had the Kuse Constitution of 1951. And so in terms of constitution, which are key components of a democratic society, Ghana has also had its fair share even before we had independence in 1957. Currently, we have what we call the 1992 Constitution, and we all know that it came after the Jerry Rawlings military governance or the military regime. It was after that that we had the 1992 Constitution. And you who are familiar with Ghana's political history will know that this constitution came about as a result of, the yearning and the desire of a certain section of the society to return to multi-party democracy. And so we had a committee of experts, which was chaired by one of Ghana's renowned scholars and legal professors, Professor SKB Asante. Together with his team, they sat and drafted the 1992 Constitution. After that, a referendum was held on the prospects of the adoption of the new proposed Constitution. And with immense popular backing, the Constitution was promulgated and adopted. And so that is how come we came to have what we call the 1992 Constitution, which currently governs the country. Right, Honorable Speaker, with the adoption of the 1992 Constitution and the coming into force of the multi-party system, we have had about 8 different parliaments, and we have had 5 different presidents. And so we have had Jerry Rawlings, we have had John Kufuor, we have had John Mills, John Mahama, and currently Excellency Addo Dankwa. Now, these are the key features of the current democratic system that we have today. As I said, we have the parliament led by a speaker, we have the legislature with the chief justice, the executive with a president. But the question right now is whether or not the democracy we have today is fit for purpose, and whether or not the democracy we have today will help Ghana in any way. That is the question at stake right now. But, Right Honorable Speaker, there are people who genuinely believe that the very psychological makeup of Africans, of Black people, makes democracy incompatible with the African society or any society of Black people. And so there are some who believe that the psychology of the Black man makes democracy incompatible with African societies. And many people believe that what we need in Africa, or whenever we have a Black society, what we need is military rule or an iron hands leadership. Okay, so the Jerry Rawlings kind of leadership, that military rule, that kind of discipline, and where people are disciplined. So there are people who believe that this kind of democracy that we have today is not fit for purpose. And that we read and we hear almost every day of the many cases of corruption and how people in political power, even when they are caught in corruption, they are allowed to go scot-free and nothing happens to them. Now, remember that we are in a democracy, and so people think that there should be fair play. And so if people in power are caught in corruption, but nothing really happens to them, then you can see that the democracy we have really is not spot on. It's not able to deal with the very issues that are destroying this nation. And so, for instance, we hear of how government contracts are shared among party officials, family and friends, and through that, such people become rich overnight to the disadvantage of the masses, the ordinary people. Not only that, we witness the ever-growing gap in terms of wealth between those in political leadership and the ordinary masses. And so, Right Honorable Speaker, it is quite clear from all these ills I have mentioned with regards to the current form and style of democracy that it may not help African societies much. It is not bad. It is not a bad system of governance in the first place, but in the particular context of Africa and Ghana, it may not help us. The very psychological makeup and orientation of Africans, for that matter, Ghanaians, makes democracy hard. I mean, hard and difficult to work in Africa or Ghana. And quickly, before I end my submission, Right Honorable Speaker, all I am trying to say is that this copycat Western democracy, which we have copied wholesale and imposed on ourselves as Africans and Ghanaians, is not compatible with African societies by reason of the very psyche and mindset of the African. What I believe is that the very important aspect of the traditional African way of governance must be preserved, and it must be incorporated together with key aspects of Western style democracy. In other words, we must revisit our past and we must pick the very good that we had in our traditional way of governance, and then we must combine it with the good aspect of Western democracy. We must not just copy wholesale Westernized democracy and practice it here. The copycat will not help us. We need something I call a hybrid democracy, a democracy that combines, as I said, our traditional African way of governance with the very positive aspects of Westernized democracy. In this way, we are going to have a powerful form of governance, which will truly and adequately find resonance and connection with the African makeup, as well as find enough compatibility with African societies. The form of democracy as we have it today has failed to live up to expectation. It has woefully failed to check corruption. The democracy we have today has failed to check corruption. It has failed to ensure rule of law. The law has become too partial and selective. It has failed to bring discipline in the very politics of Ghana. And today we find cheap politics everywhere in the system. Ultimately, Westernized democracy has failed to bring about the desired and required economic transformation we need as a people and as a nation. Right Honorable Speaker, by reason of the foregoing, I state without any equivocation that Westernized democracy is not the best form of governance for Ghana. Rather, an African-style democracy is the best fit. I thank you for your attention. Right Honorable Speaker, I am through with my submission. You may take over, please. I'm through with my submission.
So can we have the minority also make their submission?
Please, can you speak up? We can barely hear you.
Speaker, once you are back, take over.
Okay, we are ready for your submission, if you are.
Madam, my fellow colleague is not all that stable, but then I think we should give him some time to mobilize himself and come back. So please, if you can give him some time to mobilize himself and come back for the submission.
Okay, we are waiting for him.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, please.
May I humbly suggest that while we are waiting for him, can any member of the majority give a second submission to buttress what majority first, the argument they first made?
Okay, so they can do that whilst we wait for the minority side to get ready.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I wish.
Hello, please.
Okay.
Once again, I go by the name Honorable Osubresta, the majority leader. Please, I think this is something from the minority caucus. They are trying to find a way to excuse themselves on this very motion. Initially, that's what I said, and I think what they are doing is just to find a way to excuse themselves. But then we won't allow that to happen. So please, I propose that, Madam Speaker, whilst we are waiting for them, we have to also prompt the minority leader on that so that he can do his work. Because we, the majority leader, we are ready for them. And practically saying we cannot proceed to a different submission without hearing from the minority caucus. So please, I think the minority leader must do well and work on that for us.
Thank you very much. Minority leader, are you around? Please put your house together. We are waiting for your submission.
Hello, right, Honorable Speaker.
Is the minority leader around? Yes.
Honorable Speaker, can you please hear me?
Yes, please. I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, right, Honorable Speaker. My name is Boache Sapon Enoch. I'm the minority leader for this Honorable House. Madam Speaker, for the past 30 minutes, I thought I was in a history class. Honestly, I thought I was in a history class. I just tried to understand what my learned colleague from the other side was trying to say, but it was rather unfortunate that he took us to a history class instead of speaking about the motion. Now, the motion we have in the House, it's one of a kind, a motion
Madam Speaker,
that needs
once again, I go by the name of
attention.
Honorable Superstar, the majority leader. Please, is the Honorable Minority Leader making a submission or trying to mobilize his staff for them to make submission? Or he's making a submission?
Honorable Owusu, we actually waited patiently for our turn. We didn't interrupt. We didn't interrupt when your deputy leader was making the submission. We didn't interrupt. So, Madam Speaker,
we are waiting for.
I humbly ask that you call Honorable Owusu
ready or willing to make submission. He should make us know.
Majority, minority, they were, so please allow them to also make their submissions.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
That's why I'm saying that, Madam Speaker, sorry. Thank you.
We
But
didn't
then I'm
interrupt you
saying that
when you were
ready to
making your
make the
submission.
submission,
We
they should
waited
make their
patiently
house
for our time.
aware of it.
So we humbly
But then it
ask
seems
that
the
you
way
also
he
wait
was trying
patiently.
to
Just as
just
we waited for 30
resuscitate her,
minutes,
we
30
were not
minutes in a history class.
okay with
We
that.
actually
So
waited
if
for 30
he's making a
minutes in the
submission, he
history
should
class.
make
I
a
don't know if
submission.
we
But I
are
can
now
practically say
in
that
the
what
school or
my colleague
something. We waited 30 minutes for you
from our
guys to
house
finish.
did
How many
is
people
History class.
rented the house?
total intellectual education, which he gave based on the motion. And I think the House must even applaud him on that, rather than we criticizing what he did or trying to find ways and means to cause pain on what he did. Thank you.
Honorable Owusu, we from the
Yes, I've muted all of you. You are not listening to me. You are all making submissions without speaking, asking for permission. It's rather unfortunate I cannot see you. I would have sanctioned all of you. You would have this platform. But since this is your first offense, I will let it go. Okay, so you can unmute and speak.
Okay, thank you once again, Right Honorable Speaker. Please, I humbly apologize for my actions earlier on. I ask that the Right Honorable Speaker, kind as we know you are, you forgive your children. Right Honorable Speaker, when I was talking, I made mention earlier that when my learned colleague was speaking, we waited patiently. For 30 minutes, he took us to a history class, and we appreciate him for that. It's very good to learn. We appreciate him for that. The motion for the House, that is westernized democracy is not the best form of democracy for Ghana. And we from the minority side is speaking against that motion. We believe that democracy has come and, turn things around, make Africa or Ghana or the world or any country that practices democracy a better place. Madam Speaker, we wouldn't take the House through a history class, but we will just make a few points as to how democracy has come to help us. Madam Speaker, during the 1992 Constitution, that is before the late former President Jerry John Rawlings regime, before the democracy was accepted and then the 1992 Constitution was drawn, things were done by one man, and we all know the implications of that. We believe that democracy, as we all know, strengthens the relationship between teams. And we believe that it's a leadership style that any country can practice for the betterment of the citizens. Madam Speaker, I would like to take it one after the other. Democracy, we believe, strengthens the relationship. And relationship, we believe, is a formidable bond that brings about success. Now, people work with leaders that practice democratic leadership style tend to form that closure and then be more supportive. They create that bond with one another. Compared to, leaders using other leadership styles. Team members are naturally connected to one another because their ideas and their feedbacks are more important to one another. It is a leadership style that encourages voluntary collaboration, yet it allows someone to sit in the background if they prefer. Someone that has the chance to share his or her own opinion and make a positive impact for everyone. We believe that this style of leadership brings about other people, welcomes new ideas. It gives the platform for people to share their opinions. As we all know, a collective decision makes a strong decision, actually, or brings about a strong result. So with this leadership style, someone cannot go and sit in his or her corner and then, bring about something and then impose it onto us. No, we all have to have a say. Just like my learned colleague said, we have the National House of Parliament, where leaders are being elected, members of parliament are being elected to represent us. In that case, the president or leader does not have that power, that authority to impose anything on citizens. It has to go through a proper channel. And we believe that the relationship between workers or these teams, the opportunity to welcome new ideas that democracy has brought to us is the best way to go in this 21st century. Madam Speaker, I would like to make a quote from one great politician called Lord Alton, that when one man is given a power over everything, he tends to be very corrupt. And absolutely power corrupts absolutely. So with democracy, we believe that no one is above the law. When you are doing something contrary to the law or against the law, you'll be brought to justice. You will be brought to justice, and the laws will deal with you. Madam Speaker, democracy, we all know, improves job satisfaction. Honestly, it improves job satisfaction. When team members feel like they have an equal role in running the team, then there is a sense of empowerment that comes with that responsibility. When there is empowerment in the workplace, there is a naturally higher rate of job satisfaction. And when the democratic leadership style encourages workers to be, to be more than a machine or a one body, it allows people to feel like they really are important, or they really play an important role in that organization. So that brings about satisfaction. Madam Speaker, everybody feels like he or she is involved. And that satisfaction alone, Madam Speaker, is a great feeling. It's a great feeling. And we go on by saying that it builds a stronger version for the future. Honestly, we all can attest to the fact that democracy is building a stronger version for the future. There will always be, team members who disagree with the group decision. Yes, as my learned colleagues from the other side will definitely disagree with me. But there are always team members who would, disagree with team decision or the leader's decision within the democratic, style. Because those who disagree have been part of a conversation. However, there is a greater chance that they would understand a reasoning behind the decision that was made or that is about to be made. That dissent also build a stronger version for the future for each team or organization that utilize this leadership style. It also encourages everyone to be more committed to the final goal. And the final goal, Madam, is what we all look out for. Madam Speaker, when a particular minister, let's say the Minister of Roads, is giving a contract to a particular contractor to construct a road, and there is no, I don't even know how to put it. There is no supervision. There is no commitment. Each and every member of that ministry or the team working on this project Hello, Madam Speaker.
Please continue.
Okay, I humbly apologize to you and then the Honorable House. I had a phone call through my submissions and then that blocked the network. So just as I was saying, it also increases a team knowledge. Diverse opinions and ideas are important for the creative process, yes. They are also important for the team's overall knowledge base. Different people on any given team or group are aspect of something. And as Speaker, as we all know, we cannot form a committee, let's say an innovation committee, a science committee, a science, technology and innovation committee, or a health committee. Yes, let's say a health committee without involving health workers. No, that is totally impossible to form a health committee without involving health workers. Now, when you involve someone who isn't professionally in the health, area or industry or whatever they call it. What particular role is that person going to play over there? But then if you build a team of health workers, Madam Speaker, they are going to share ideas and they are going to come up with the best of plan to execute the particular task that has been given to them. Different people on any given team or expert at something. One person may be a writer, another person may be a graphic designer. By giving each person a chance to contribute their personal, aspect to a conversation, Madam Speaker, it resolves in the best of interest for each and everybody. It gives everyone an opportunity to expand their knowledge base. That is in turn create more competence within the decision-making process. Madam Speaker, I humbly apologize once again, as my dear wife did call me and it interrupted my submission. I'll end my submission, Madam Speaker, by saying that democracy, as the benefit of democracy as we are all enjoying now, we shouldn't condemn it, because without democracy in this 21st century, we from this side believe that things will go wayward. And then the best decisions that will be in the best interest of the Ghanaian people or the average Ghanaian people wouldn't be achieved. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable. Okay, someone's hand is up already. Honorable Amofa, why is your hand up?
Madam Speaker, coming from the majority side, and I would love to make a submission on this motion put before the House.
Please, what did you just say? I didn't hear you.
Because I am.
Honorable Amofa, can you repeat what you just said?
Yes, Madam Speaker, I said I am on the majority side, and I would like to speak in favor of the motion. And if I'm given the floor, may I respectfully start with my submission?
Please go ahead.
Hello, thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
All right, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. I am on the majority side, and I am speaking in favor of the motion. And in fact, we stand firm by the motion that westernized democracy is not the best form of governance for Ghana. And my first speaker has done justice to that. He just nailed it. Honorable Minority Leader started by saying my first speaker took us to a history class. And it was marvelous. He did an intellectual and academic work. And I love that. But unfortunately for the minority side, the minority leader also started from the 1992 Constitution. Also history lesson. but I don't know whether he would term that as a chemistry class or maybe geography class or not. But I still see it to be a history lesson that he took us through. In fact, all the lectures that the minority leader took us through highlighted the advantages of democracy in general. Advantages of democracy in general. We on the majority side are not against the advantages of democracy in general, but it was a deviation of the motion. The motion before the House, Madam Speaker, is Western democracy. And that is what we on the majority side are saying is not the best form of governance for Ghana. Western democracy is what we are speaking against. That is not the best form of governance for Ghana. Madam Speaker, with your permission, let me quickly walk the House, including my honorable opponent, minority leader, through the Economic Intelligence Unit, the Corruption Perception Index in 2015. They sampled some Western countries who are practicing the full democracy system. And in fact, their rating was from 0 to 100. Ratings closer to 100 were countries who are less corrupt, while ratings closer to 0 or below 50 were the highly corrupt. It would interest my honorable minority leader to know that Norway, full democracy, they rated 87, meaning they were less corrupt. Sweden, full democracy, they rated 89. Switzerland, 86. Now, Ghana, a copycat democracy system, we rated 47 in 2015. And in fact, in subsequent years, we have continued to rate downwards, meaning we are highly corrupt. This means that Western democracy as practiced in Ghana here is characterized by corruption. And so it was no wonder that the Economic Intelligence Unit rated Ghana as a flawed democracy. They said we are practicing a flawed democracy because we couldn't copy and cut the Western democracy system well as it was intended. And so we all know that Ghana's democracy is riddled with excessive powers that is bestowed on the executive, also characterized with the winner takes all, which is making it extremely difficult for appointees to check the executive. We all know how ministers are appointed chief executive officers and so on. The executive does the appointments, and for that matter, the president. And so if I appoint you, how can you check me when I go wrong? That is the Western democracy that we are practicing in Ghana here right now. The anti-corruption agencies like SHRAJ, Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, and a whole lot. Currently, as I'm speaking now, we all know that they are lacking that institutional independence to pursue corruption cases because their directors appointed are appointed by the president. We all know this. Ghana Police Service, the IGP is appointed by the president. The Ghana Education Service, the Director General is appointed by the president. And a whole lot. So the institutions are not functioning as it should. And so it is making it very difficult, as I earlier did indicate, that checks and balances are extremely difficult. I witnessed something a month ago. I am into education, and the education minister, the Director General, made mention of the fact that the review of free SHS policy was in the pipeline. In fact, he said they have started the process. The Ministry of Education came to do the rebuttal that, hey, we have not started any review of the free SHS policy. And at midnight that very day, the Director General granted an interview. A circular came out from the Director General that he didn't intend to mean what he said. And so this is the type of democracy that we are practicing in Ghana here. And the minority leader says it is the best for Ghana? Oh, no, not at all. Madam Speaker, in President Kufuor's regime, the Supreme Court dismissed Dr. Richard Anane's case. And his case had got to do with conflict of interest and the use of state facilities for personal gain. And in fact, the Supreme Court ruled that Shraj did not have jurisdiction to investigate the case. Interesting, isn't it? This is the democracy that we are practicing here. Now, we all know other notable corruption cases that have gone unpunished. We all know about Sada. We all know about Jida. We all know about the Ameri deal. We all know about the Smarties bars rebranding scandal. And we all know the famous Analysis number 12 expose, which exposed 34 judges. In fact, they were caught on camera, red-handed, and they were involved in corruption by accepting bribes to throw away murder cases. Look at the nature of cases that were thrown away. They threw away murder cases, robbery cases, and other criminal cases and civil cases. This is the democracy that we are practicing in Ghana. Madam Speaker, what has happened to all the perpetrators of these scandals? What has happened to all these judges? They are still walking scot-free, walking with impunity, meaning that in our system of democracy as practiced here, the Western democracy, if you do commit an offense, after all, you will go scot-free. Because in the system of democracy that we are practicing here, the powerful becomes more powerful, and we, the ordinary people, are at the mercy of the law. Madam Speaker, look at the Aisha Huang's case currently. She has had a lawyer. Look at the way this Galamsey Queen, as they used to call her, is destroying our water bodies through her Galamsey activities. We all know. Now we learned she's been arrested. She was in fact first deported, and she finds her way into the nation again. This is the democracy we are practicing. And after I'm speaking now, I know she has a lawyer and a whole lot is going on. Madam Speaker, I would never be surprised if Aisha Huang is left off the hook once again, because this is the democracy we are practicing here, where the rich becomes richer, the powerful becomes more powerful, and we, the ordinary, as someone would say, the common floor members, are always the vulnerable. Madam Speaker, Ghana's democracy is also fraught with hyper-aggressive winner-takes-all political system. In the J.J. Rawlings regime, for instance, Madam Speaker, the Trade and Industries Minister then, he was Dr. Ekospio Gabra. He was also then the chairman for the NDC's Business Committee. He was tasked to create employment for NDC members. Madam Speaker, once again, he was tasked not to create employment for all Ghanaians, but for NDC members. The winner-takes-all system that we are experiencing now. Madam Speaker, in fact, I don't know whether the Honorable Minority Leader will be able to give me some examples of regimes that have come in Ghana here and have appointed members from the opposing parties. I would be happy if the Minority Leader can be able to give me some 3, 4, 5 examples. 3 years ago, Madam Speaker, Get Fund beneficiaries included Madam Sarah Adjoa-Safo, Honorable Sarah Adjoa-Safo, Honorable Matthew Opoku Pempe, and a whole lot of others who could afford to pay their fees to study abroad. No, they were rather the beneficiaries for Get Fund, the Ghana Education Trust Fund, to study abroad. And this, in fact, 3 years ago, led me to write this article, which I published on modernghana.com, and I captioned it, Get Fund Saga, Democracy Redefined as government of the people, by the people, and for the politicians. Madam Speaker, democracy has now been defined per our democratic system here in Ghana here as government of the people, by the people, and for the politicians. Madam Speaker, let's talk about the quantum of money spent on democratic elections. Democracy is very expensive in Ghana here. Let's consider the primaries, when NDC is running primaries, when MPP is running primaries to elect their flag bearers. Look at the quantum of money that is heaped on their shoulders to pay. Even the parliamentarians, the parliamentary primaries, look at the money that is splashed on the money that is splashed on those voting the delegates. In fact, in 2018 MPP Congress at Koforidua, one white man observer, he said, what is all this? A whole lot of posters posted here and there, flyers, banners, big ones. He said, oh, these are costly. It's a waste of money. That's what he said. He said, this doesn't happen elsewhere in the Western world. It never happens. But here we are in Ghana here, the copy and paste democracy, trying to copy and paste the Western democracy, which is not working for us here. We are trying to do this. And so, Madam Speaker, we all know it's an open secret how monies are splashed to buy votes. Here again, democracy is not serving the purpose. That is representative governance. The delegates should have been representatives of the masses, but they go in out there, take monies, we all know that. It's an open secret. Take monies and vote for the highest bidder. Look at the election of MMDCs here in Ghana. This has even trickled down to school elections, even school-based elections, SLC elections, NOOS elections. Look at the cost, the monies that are being splashed over there just for votes. And my speaker, my member from the majority side, he nailed it. And he said the nature of the African, the psychological makeup of the Ghanaian makes democracy completely incompatible. The Western democracy, of course, is making it incompatible to be used in Ghana here. And so, Madam Speaker, I, Honorable Joseph Amofa, YMP for Mpaeso constituency, and on the majority side, I still stand by, and I hope by now the minority leader is clapping and he would, in fact, change his mind and come and support us that the Western democracy or Westernized democracy is not the best form of governance for Ghana. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Madam Speaker. Hello, Madam Speaker.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I've ended my submission. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
And then, are you there? Do you have a second submission? The minority side, do you have a submission again? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I think by now they may have changed their mind. Speaker.
They have finished with their second submission. Minority side, do you have a second submission? The minority side, do you have a second submission?
Madam Speaker.
continue. The minority side, do you have a second submission?
Madam Speaker, per the argument, I believe per the arguments laid before the House by the majority, I think by now the minority may have changed their mind and come to support us, and hence the long silence.
Interested. But I would still like to hear from them. Minority Speaker, are you still there? Please, do you have a second submission? Minority Speaker. Minority Leader, rather, sorry. Do you have a second submission?
I think, Madam Speaker, the minority leader is not around because of the submission made by my learned colleague. So I think they have admitted defeat and we have to proceed since we are not responded. We have given out intellectual presentation on this motion, and I don't think they are willing and able to disprove all these factual evidences which we are putting before the House. So I think we have to proceed because they have admitted defeat.
Okay. I can give my remarks. I don't have a submission anymore. But let me find out from the House. Anybody who wants to give a the motion that was discussed by the minority and majority side. Hello, hear me? Hello. Please, House, can you hear me?
Right, Honorable Speaker, we can hear you, and if comment on the motion at stake, then we can proceed to the next items on the agenda, and if we can also proceed, and if we have to end it, fair enough. I don't think any member has any comment on the motion again.
Yeah. Hello, House. Madam Speaker, the little comment I have on the motion is that we being African, we have to understand that democratic system wasn't something meant for Africans. So we have to just clear that misconception of the wrong perception that we Africans were not practicing democratic system. Our kings and queens were practicing democratic system because we were having a king, having elders, council of elders, who helped the king in the daily running of the state or the community. So the king, though, was having power over the administration, but then whatever happens, the king consults his people. So what we, the majority, are saying is that the Western democratic system is the one we are trying to say that it is not something meant for Africans. But then when we are talking about democracy, the Africans were also having their way of practicing democracy. We were having a different way of democratic living in the community, in the state, in wherever we find ourselves. So what we are saying is that though there has been some introduction or a mention of Western way of practicing democratic system in a country, the way it has been infused into our system is causing havoc. It's causing harm more than we gain from such practices or such administration. Because here lies the case that now, because of democracy, I can kill someone, and with the help of democracy, I'll get a good lawyer, and the lawyer can redeem me from such, uncalled act, of which we know that if it wasn't because of democracy, we could have find a different way to deal with me. So what we are saying is that democracy is a nice thing. It is never a bad thing. But we Africans were having a way of practicing democracy. We Africans were having a way of doing our thing. We Africans were already practicing that African democratic system where we ensure discipline, where we ensure harmony, where we ensure fairness for people in all walks of life. Not this type of Western democracy where it favors the rich and powerful people and always chastise the poor and less privileged people in the community or in the state. This is what we are saying. But I think with our presentation and with our submission, the minority people have admitted that whatever they made, the statement they made, their submissions were nothing of total fact. And we cannot entertain such fallacious proofs or fallacious evidences made by the minority caucus in this August House. So with this submission, we can factually say that we have presented facts. Facts just as girls are girls and boys are boys. And I don't think there will be any fact in this House to disprove this. So, Madam Speaker, I propose that we proceed to the next agenda, then we call it for a day. Thank you.
Thank you too for your submission. And next on program is to give us the announcement. Honorable Ralph, please, can you give us the announcement? Honorable Ralph, are you here? Honorable Ralph.
I think Honorable Ralph is not responding. Then we have to proceed to the next agenda because it's almost getting to 9:30 and majority of us, I think, having some one or two.
Okay, I'll give my remarks.
Is Honorable Ralph.
I'll give my remarks now. Okay, thank you. Looking at the submissions that were given by the majority and the minority side, I can say that both houses, and in fact, they've taken us back to our school days, reminded us of all the things we learned during our social studies lessons and the history lessons that we learned. They've all done very well. And I'll say that the minority side had some bits of challenges during their submissions. So I urge them that the next time they are going to give submissions, they should prepare adequately before they come to do their submissions. And I also say kudos to the majority side for a job well done. Thank you very much, all of you.
Yeah.
Okay, now with the power vested in me as the speaker for YMP, I duly say that today's sitting has been adjourned for our next meeting. Okay, can we have a Christian closing prayer? Honorable Amufa, can you pray for us?
Okay, Madam Speaker, thank you very much. We are praying. We are praying in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty Father, we are so much grateful unto you for granting us this opportunity to meet here as YMP members, and more so for this important sitting. We are so much grateful unto you for the knowledge that you have bestowed on us, on our leadership and members, everybody. We thank you also for the swift victory achieved by the minority side. We are praying, Almighty Father, that even as we are adjourning our sitting to a yet to be disclosed date, we are asking for your mercies. We are asking for your divine protection. We are asking for your guidance. We are asking for divine wisdom in all that we do, in all our endeavors. Guide us, defend us, shield us from all the attacks of the evil ones. And as we go to bed, let your angels keep watch over us so that we shall have a sound sleep and wake us back strongly so that we shall see the new day once again. And when all these are done, of which we are so much optimistic that you have even done it for us, glory, honor, adoration shall be given unto your holy name. We ask this through Jesus Christ, your Son. Amen.
Amen. So the house has been adjourned. Shall we all rise?
Majority, yeah.
Thank you all for joining today's meeting. Have a good night.
Thank you to Madam Speaker. Have a sound sleep.
Thank you.